Hey guys, welcome back to another Coding Flamingo video. Today we're going to look at something that I do often, but not often enough to remember. So I'm making this video mostly for me, but if it helps you, this is great too. So when you're working at the OS level, that the OS makes calls to your service and you're trying to debug it, you might be using something like HTTP toolkit to do it, but you might have some dependencies that you don't want everything to go through a proxy. So you cannot use it just like the secure web proxy and send everything there. You might have, for example, in my case, there are some dependencies that have a client certificate authentication. So having a proxy in the middle breaks that. Have some other dependencies that verify the server certificate. So having a man in the middle, it literally doesn't work. So in that case, we have to kind of separate what traffic do we want to go to our service through the proxy and what traffic do we want to ignore. So you could do some stuff here. So for example, I had like the bypass. So if there's some specifics that you want to bypass, you could just add them here and have bypass a proxy and just use a secure web proxy and call it a day. But when you have like hundreds of dependencies and whatever, like it becomes a really long list. So instead what we do is an opt-in list, and we do that with a proxy.pack file. And then we have to host it. So let's jump into how to do that. So in here, I'm just in my documents. So all I'm gonna do is, I already wrote the file, so I'm just gonna cat it. And the only important thing is it ends up with .pac. And you can see here I have a few comments, but basically what you have to have is this function, find my proxy URL, the host. Then you have like some matches. So if it ends with this, return to the proxy. If it ends with this, return the proxy, else direct. So that's all we have to do. And then we just have to host it. So I still don't have Python in my path because I'm too lazy. So I have to add it. And then I have to go to Python, M, and HTTP server. You have to do this wherever your file is. So it will serve those as your local host. So here is now serving it. And if I go back to Safari, I could actually like show where that file is. So I can do localhost 80 proxy pack. And you can see that it downloads the file. So that's how you can verify that it's working. So then after that, you go here and you check that you do automatic proxy configuration, then that, and then you enter the URL for your thing. And you could host this online if you're doing it for multiple computers or something like that. In this case, we're just doing it for this one. So I'm just going to click OK. And now we can test it. So far we haven't hit any of the URLs that are there. So if I go back to Safari and I do like google.com, we'll see that nothing happened. But then if I go back here and I do portal.ezca.io, we can see all the requests. So that's how you do a selective proxy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.